What's going on, guys? What's cracking? Back in the garage right now, hoping to get the Supra out here. As you can see, she's looking pretty, but I've got to get it back up in the air because last night, my buddy BB and I went out to Mexico. While we were in Mexico, he was like, do you realize your car shoots sparks? And I'm like, oh, cool. So when I bang through the gears, he's like, no. Your car's shooting sparks every time you hit a bump. And I'm like, well, it can't be that low, right? Right? That's my exhaust, guys. It's literally an inch and a half off the ground. I need to rotate it up. It has about 3 inches. I can rotate it up. Yeah, that's 110% my fault. When we put the exhaust back together, I didn't even think about it. So, yep, I need to definitely do that. And further down, it needs to be rotated up too. So, plan on today is rotating the exhaust up and moving everything around to get this to fit up better. All right, guys, so let's crawl under here. I want to show you just how. So it doesn't seem that bad, right? But this, if you can see here, it's sitting the whole way down. This can be rotated way over. We have this rotated way too far to the left here. This needs to be moved over to the right some, so it'll suck all this up closer to the body. This is way too low also. You see where I dented it there at one time. Look at that. That looks freaking awesome. But back here is where it's the worst. So let me move back here. You guys can see here, that's my hand in between. There's a good 4 inches of movement it has. So I need to pull this up about 4 inches. And you wouldn't think I wouldn't have that much movement, but when you loosen everything up, start from the front and move it all the way back, you can suck everything up clean against the body. See how badly it was hitting here? Oh yeah, holy shit. Oh yeah, she hit a lot. Good Lord, I'm lucky. I'm lucky that didn't wear through. So yeah, let's go ahead and pull this up here so this doesn't get any freaking worse. Oh, while we're under here too, what I wanted to check was, see if there was any leaks from the transmission, which there doesn't seem to be any. I've heard of people talking about getting some leaks from the trans and everything, and if not sealed right, but I guess I'm one of the lucky ones. I guess I'll say that. I feel fortunate. I don't see any leaks. I don't see any concerns. Let's go up here. Nothing over here. Nothing there. Everything looks copacetic if you ask me. That's pretty freaking awesome. Yeah, everything looks good. That's awesome. Makes me really happy. So, all right, all we have to do is adjust the exhaust now, and let's go take this car for a drive here today. The first thing I did here was I loosened up this V-band and rotated it this way. So move this pipe as close to the body as possible. Now I still have this much gap from the body or so it's not too terribly close. If I go under the car here, you'll be able to see a little bit better, but nothing too crazy as I drop my phone on the ground. FYI, lift, I know, but you can see there's the bottom of the exhaust. So right there, that pipe is the exhaust. Get my light here quick. So that's the exhaust pipe you can see there. Now here's it with the body line. Pretty well damn tucked. I mean, you can just barely see it under the frame, which that's a 3-inch exhaust, and you guys know how that is. It's a tight fit. I'm going to be going to a 4-inch, so I think I'm going to have to do an oval 4-inch through here. If you guys have never seen that, they're pretty freaking sweet, but they're quite expensive. Now that's tucked up. I've got it tucked pretty close to the body. Made sure to move it. If you guys knew before, it was actually rubbing against the body right there. But I gave it some room so it had some movement, so it doesn't bang against the body this time around. But I should be good. That's good. Now the next thing I got to do is HKS with their HKS carbon uses this 4-bolt flange right here. See if I can get some light on it for you guys. Uses this 4-bolt flange. You can see it has a good bit of movement. You can see the flange right now is kind of off kilter. It's not even lined up. So what I'm going to do is actually take this, unbolt it all, rotate it up some, and then bolt it down. So it'll take it from this much room even still, and it'll move it up another inch or so, believe it or not. It's crazy how much movement it has. So we're going to do that, and then I should be done then. That should be it. And I think this should suck up the exhaust tip a little bit too, I think. Well, actually, when I do that, it's actually going to point it down some, which kind of sucks, but I'd rather have this up higher than taking any chances of rubbing anymore like it was. Well, she's back down again, but I'm still not happy, guys. I think it comes down to a multitude of things. Like, I love the car, but there's just things that just don't fit right, or stuff that could be easier, especially for as much as I work on the car. I would love to get a new exhaust manifold, turbo, downpipe, the whole shebang, and I would like to do it differently, and I'd like to be there for the process. What I mean for that is, I want it as tight as possible against the body. Some of this here with the turbo, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just, my OCD is making me not perfectly happy. And most people would see and go, yeah, it looks nice. I hope that doesn't come off as gloating, but I think it does look pretty nice for a car. It's just that there's some weird, quirky things about it. It's not 100% perfect. Someone's trying to tell me, I have a friend that's trying to tell me to go to a single gate instead of a dual gate manifold. I don't know. There's no conclusion. When it comes to this kind of stuff, no one can ever, you know, everyone's got their opinion, and I like multiple opinions. You know, I try to get as many as I possibly can, because there would be certain things I would have done to the car or done to the car if it wasn't for other people's insight. If I would just go over what I thought, I'd even spend a lot more money than I have. So that's just one thing. But yeah, so I'm not sure where to go next now. I would like to get the car out here, but yeah, that's just my gripe for the day. All right, now that we've got the exhaust fixed and I stuffed myself full of fucking Chinese, my fucking stomach hurts. I made a bunch of shrimp and rice and just a ton of chicken, and my face is probably red, fucking full, holy hell. But what we need to do next is, I've got the 6-speed panel back out here again. If you guys can see here, see this gap? It's nothing crazy, right? There's no crazy here, but you can still hear and you can feel the wind coming up out of here. I'm like, how am I gonna block that off? And then I had an idea. So the factory W58, and I believe the V160 has this little rubber boot. Well, it's just big enough here, wide enough at the bottom, that'll fit around this bottom part of the rod, because it gets fatter here, so it'll fill this hole, and then the bottom part flares out, as you can see, and it'll fill in the rest of this gap. So this will make it work perfectly. Only problem is I gotta try to get this plastic, which this is the plastic thing here is the replacement for this, because obviously this is thinner up top than what the factory one is, so it doesn't work ideally with this one. So Joel makes this, but I now need to get this off, and it's pretty well stuck on there. So yeah, I'm gonna try twisting this off and see if it comes up, and then I need to shove this down inside there and put this back on, and hopefully this works. Boom, guys, would you look at that? It fills in that area perfectly. Look at that. Goes right over the rod. Still have all the movement I had before. That's perfect. Super happy with that. Sweet. Now it shouldn't make any noise, and come the whole way over. Does it do anything? Nope. Doesn't impede anything. Sweet. And now it shouldn't have any, I should call it, air noise coming up through. And that fits on there. Can't go above it, can't go below it. Sweet. That makes me really happy, actually. So cool. Now I can put this all back together. But yeah, guys, sweet little mod. I don't know if the V160 has this, but the W58, the factory manual would have came with this little rubber piece here. So if you guys still have that, try using it yourself, and it should work for you. First off, you guys, I had my seatbelt on, so any of you that always bitch about it, fuck off! I've got my goddamn seatbelt on. So yeah, driving the Supra right now. I put that boot on, and it helped a lot. It's weird how something so small, that little hole, had so much noise coming up through it. Now, I had a couple people message me asking what the whirring noise is. I mentioned it before, but it's not actually the transmission. This is actually dead silent. The noise you're hearing now is a clutch pack style, I shouldn't say clutch pack, but I guess it would be like that, but yeah, disc style rear differential. So since my LSD now is an OS Geiken, it is no longer a Torsen style, there's no gears in there. So it is just a bunch of little discs like you would have in a clutch pack that fluctuate, and it's hard to explain. I might actually throw it up to do a better job of it. But there's a bunch of little discs in there. I think there's 24 to be exact. It's a shitload that actually fluctuate depending how much pressure you're putting on them, kind of like a spring rate. And it applies clamping force, and it allows the car to slip, or the LSD, the limited slip differential, to work properly. And if they do fail, which something like this is supposed to hold and absorb it in and out of power, but if they do fail, they just fail. That's it. They just stop working, they start to slip, or they just don't hold the power. So unlike a Torsen, which if they break like mine did, that gear just breaks and falls out of the rear end. When that happens, if it gets stuck in the ring gear, or if it locks up one of the wheels, you're definitely going into a wall or into a ditch. I got lucky. I wasn't going very fast, so when it locked them up, I didn't have a problem. But there's people that have been road racing or street racing before, and they're going 100 miles an hour and they just lock a wheel. There were, I think, 1320s got along film twice now of a Supra doing it. Guy had everything built, had a stock twin turbo rear end in it, didn't listen, didn't replace it, and shit happened. No, I can't say anything there either because, well, let's be honest, mine broke me because of being an idiot, and it could have been me. I could have been that same person, but I got really, really fucking lucky. Trying to get some miles on this thing. This Kevlar clutch, I did a little bit more research on, guys, and I want to talk to you about that too here. So I found out with these Kevlar clutches, they need an absorbent amount of break-in time. So, you know how most clutches, like, they say break-in time, and like, you wear them in a little bit and then you start romping on them. Well, these legitimately, if you don't break them in, don't work. They legitimately don't work at all. So, South Bend is the most common one for the V160 guys or guys with a Supra. Those guys have been using them forever. And they say minimum, if you're lucky, 500 miles. Most guys are saying up to 700 to 1,000 miles until it's fully broken in and it holds the power. I've tried maybe 3 times, maybe 2 times, to try and get on it now, and both times the fucking disc just slipped. I'm like, what the fuck? This thing is rated for over 600 foot-pounds, well over 600. And I called Clutch Master and they said, we highly underrate them. He said, you're more around 750 foot-pounds. And I'm like, dude, I'm making like 490, 480. I'm like, how the fuck is this possible? He's like, dude, Kevlar clutches need a ton of braking time. They drive great. Like, I'll say I love driving the car again because they slip like a factory clutch, but the braking time is crazy. Now, that also being said, you're probably thinking, well, clutches wear out so fast. That sucks. You have to take all that time to break it in. The good thing with the Kevlar is they last a long time too. So like, you can beat on them and stuff, but you'll get 60, 70,000 miles out of them, especially for a car you don't drive that much. Shit, that could last you 10, 12, 15 years. So that's one really good thing with the Kevlar clutch also. So there's some things you can weigh with it, and it's all on what you really want. If this doesn't work out here, I'm going to be going to the OS Geiken twin disc, just so I can let it eat, and when I go 85 here, I won't have to worry. That's good for around 800 foot-pounds, and as soon as you put it in, you can just hammer it. They literally say that, like, as long as you clean off the disc, clean off the flywheel, and there's no oil or anything on it, maybe slip it once, maybe twice, and then you can literally dump the clutch, go bang gears, and it'll be fine. So that's the difference. The same thing with the OS Geiken rear end. They literally say you put it in, put fluid with it, there's 0 break-in time. Like the TRD, you required a break-in time. These do not. So we're gonna get back to the house here, and we're gonna finish out this video.